What's going on, everybody? My name is Arun. Welcome to my channel. This series is a series of Linux tutorials, and in this tutorial we will be looking at command chmod and using that how we can change the file permissions for different files and directories. Okay, let's get started. First of all, let's actually list down all the files and directories that we have over here, and you can clearly see that this string on the leftmost side for binding against each and every directory or the file is actually the file permissions. And just to give a quick recall, file permissions are the privileges that are available for a user, and the user has by default three privileges: to read the file, write the file, and execute the file. And these informations over here tells us what are the permissions available for different users. And this string over here is 10 characters long. If you leave the first one, the remaining 9 characters tell you the different kinds of permissions for each and every user. So the first is actually the user permissions for the normal user, that is you. Second is the permissions for the group users, that is users who are not you but who are in the same group as you are. And the third one will be the permissions for the users who are in a different mission, who are in a different machine logging into yours, or in a different group that where you are not a part of it. All right, so that's the information we have to keep in mind. Now let's see how we can change these permissions and what actually does these change permissions reflect to the users. So the command that we need is chmod, and let's say I take this sample file over here and I want to give executable permissions to it. What I need to do is just type chmod, and then I have to type plus sign, so the and x to add permissions. The permission that I'm adding is executable, so I need x, and then I type sample.txt and press enter. Looks like nothing happened, but if I list them out the files in long listing format, you notice two things. One, and compared to the previous scenario, you have x's full in the documentations, the file permission string, and the file over here, it was earlier in white color, now it is displayed as green color. In my terminal setting, executable files get a green color indication, and over here, just to cross verify, if I were to double click this file over here, Ubuntu Mate is giving me this pop-up window telling me to display this file or run this terminal, and this is the information you have to keep in mind. Now it's saying that this file is an executable file, so it's asking you to run in terminal or display. I can just click display and open this up, and if I want to run this, I can directly run it just like that. Now let's say I change my mind, I don't want this file to have executable permission, I want to remove it. So for that I just have to put -x and that's it, and press enter. Looks like nothing happened, but if I type ls, and there you go, the file permissions are reverted, and now it has the same permission as it had before. Cool. Now this file over here, now we double click this, does not have any executable permission. Cool. Now let me clear this up. Now let's say I want to remove the write permission for this file, just to write permission. Alright, I just have to type chmod -w because I want to remove the write permission, and then type sample, press enter, and that's it. And there you go. And now if I type ls-l, now you see that this file does not have the w in any of the string in the file permission string, and over here you also have a visual indication with the lock symbol on it. So I can open this, and if I were to make any modification, I can't. I just cannot do any modification. See, I cannot do any modification. You can try this out. And now you're like, hey, I want this write permissions back. Simple. Instead of -w, just click +w and press enter, and that's it. And then if you open it up, now you have the permissions to modify this file and write and update it. So there you go. Similarly, the read permissions are also possible. Let's actually play with that as well for the sake of completion. Now if I remove the read permission, check this out. This file has an x in front of it, and now if I type ls-l, now you see the write permissions are gone the read permissions are gone for this file. Now there's an x over here as a visual indication. If I double click this, the text editors whichever I have can open, but you get this information, could not open the file, you do not have the permissions necessary to open the file. Maybe I can retry this, it won't work, you can cancel and come out, but you can't do anything about it. Now if you want to get the permissions back, just type chmod plus R and that's it. There you go. Now you have the permissions ready. Good to go. You're good to go. Cool. Now what we noticed so far is that whenever we add or remove permission, it affects all the users simultaneously. Isn't there a way to just concentrate on a particular user? I mean that is to add or remove permissions for a particular user. Well, there is a possibility, and that's what we're going to do right now. First, for that to work, we need to see we need to take a file. We'll take the same sample file. We just try to type chmod. Okay, and now we need to specify a string over here. The strings are as follows. If you type U, it means for yourself. Okay, G means for users in the group, and O for users that are outside the group or other users, so to speak. So, and there's also another one called as A, which means all the users. So we need to type a string to specify what it is. So let's say I specify O, so that it's specifying for other user, and then for this user I want to remove the read permission. So I need to put -R and then type sample presenter. Looks like nothing happened, but if I type ls-l, clearly you see the other user does not have any read permission. Cool. Now let's say for the other user, I want to give write and executable permission, but not the read permission. I just have to type this O for the other, plus for the addition, and WX for the permissions, and press enter. Looks like nothing happened, but you see now you have the read permission gone, but you have the writable and executable permission for the other user. All right. Now you can do a lot more with this stuff. Let's say you give the other readable permission, but for the user and the group. Okay, let's say for the user and the group, I want to add the executable permission. For the other, I want to subtract the executable permission, and for the other, I want to add the readable permission. All I have to do is just put them together. So what you're doing is here, for the user and the group, we are adding executable permission. For other, we're removing the executable permission, and for the others, we're adding the read permission. Alright, and then we put the sample txt and press enter, and there you go. Now, as we mentioned, for the user and the group, we added executable permission. But for the other user, we removed the executable permission, but we added the read permission back. Alright. And so let's say you want to do you want to give permission for all the permissions for all the users. Just type UG. Okay. Just try to type chmod UGO, meaning everybody, plus you want to give all the permissions. So you just type RWX. This means you're giving all the permissions to all the users, and then type sample, and that's it. Now you see it's full permission. Likewise, if I type minus over here, no permission for this file at all. Sweet. Okay, and let's say you want to restore this to the normal situation. So for the user and group, you want the read and write permission. For the other, you just want the read permission. For the user and group, you want only the read and write. For the other, just read permission. Press enter. There you go. Now you're back to the original permission it was as it is. Cool. Now, is there a way that you can do this a little more, even more compact, in a compact manner? Yes, you can, and that is by the use of these numbers over here. So as we just to give you a quick recall, the file permissions, these numbers specify these permissions accordingly. So, and these numbers are repeated thrice, so keep that in mind. So if I type chmod, and let's say I want to give all the permissions for the user, and I want to give only the read and write permission for the group, and read and write permission for, I'm sorry, read and executable permission for, okay, let me rephrase this again. Let's say I want to give all the permissions for the group user. I need to put 7 first. Let's say I want to give the read and executable permission for the group users, and I want to give no permission at all for the others. I just said type chmod 750 and then type the file name, and that's it. Now if I type ls -l, and there you go, the values the string values corresponding to the numbers will be automatically replaced over here. This is the most compact manner of specifying the file permissions that is available. If you want to go selective, you can go about with it, but this is one compact way. Let's say I want to restore all of this such that I want to give read and write permissions for the sample file for the user, but I just want to give only the read permission for the group user, and again only read permission for the others. I just have to type chmod 644. Okay, 6 stands for read, write, and no executable. 4 for just read only, and type sample and press enter. Cool. There you go. Now if I just want to push this to the earlier setting as it was earlier, I just had to type chmod 664 because I'm writing writable permissions to the group user as well, and press enter. And there you go, rw. That's it. There you go. So these are the ways you can go and add and remove permissions for the files and directories. This works for both directories and files as well, so you're welcome to play around with. And also there is this option called as a recursive option. For that, let me clear this up. Let me go to my desktop folder. Okay, let me create a few files over here. Touch sample 1, sample 2. Okay, let's say I create another folder called as a few more folders, mkdir, dir1, dir2, dir3, let's say. Okay, now let's say I copy sample 1 to dir1. Okay, now if I just go open up dir1, let's say I have a file. Similarly, let's say I copy the same file, but instead I copy to dir2. Similarly, I copy it to dir3. Now each of these folders, dir1, 2, and 3, have a file sample1 in it, and outside you have sample 1, sample 2, and all. Okay. Now let's say let's look at the file permission of this desktop folder. This desktop folder has the permissions 755. Okay, let's say for each and every file inside this folder you want to give the same permission 755. Okay, you have one way to go do it is by going to each and every folder directory and then checking if it's a directory and then giving permissions to each and every file. You can do that, but that is such a pain. On the other hand, what you can do is this. There's a recursive option available, so you just type chmod minus capital R, okay, and then you type 755, then type desktop and press enter. Okay, desktop already had this permission 755, so it doesn't make a difference. If we go to the desktop and press enter, all the directories by default have a permission 755, and look at these files: sample 1, sample 2. All of them have 755 permissions, and even the directories dir1, 2, 3 have 755 permissions. Now if I go to dir1, this file also has the same permissions as we mentioned. let's see, dir2. Okay, same permissions, cool. This way, if you want to give some permissions recursively to each and every directory or subdirectory inside, and each and every file inside each and every subdirectory, this recursive option is very useful. Alright, so with this file permissions changing is done. Alright, so that's all I have for you all in this video. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we will be talking about changing the file owner and then the group ownerships. Alright, so that's all I have for you all in this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time in another interesting video. Till then, take care.